Hey, true believers, England Teen here with back issue Breen on this side, right there. He is. Okay. All righty. So it's kind of funny. I wasn't going to bother you for another week and until we did another little 4-color fossil video, but something came up and I thought, you know what? I want to talk about this. So I was looking at Bleeding Cool. I was actually looking for the countdown, so maybe I could do that as a little article. And I found a coming soon. Marvel artists are going to fix Jack Kirby classics. I know, right? Just right there. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
At least they didn't say Disney legend Jack Kirby.
Disney, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, did they get backlash for that? Well, it turns out it's going to be for the 80th anniversary. Now, if you remember, hold on, let me stop sharing just yet. Not just yet, gang. Okay, so if you remember, a few years back, it was going to be Jack Kirby's 100th birthday if he was alive, right? Mm-hmm. So DC Comics actually came out with some homage books that highlighted some of his more famous DC characters, Mr. Miracle, Darkseid, so forth and so on. And Marvel had a banner that said, happy birthday, Jack.
That they rushed to production on because they were planning on not covering it all.
And when people had complained, that's it, they did put out some True Believers, you know, the first appearance of Black Panther, so forth and so on. And it was like, really, this is what you're doing for Jack Kirby, huh? First of all, I was thinking, this is Captain America, by the way, because it's his 80th anniversary. Now, okay, that's cool. I get it. You're going to put out a book for him. And the thing is, this is where I'll share it. It's going to be an homage by rewriting Captain America's first adventures, first comics. So this is what we've got. This is by Jude Terror. And it says, reckoning 80 years in the making is finally on its way. Marvel Comics next week. Who over the years hasn't thought to themselves those early Captain America and Avengers stories were surely seminal works that influenced a century of creators and resulted in billions of dollars worth of profit for the Disney Corporation and hundreds of dollars in profits for Jack Kirby. But isn't it a shame that legends like Jack Kirby and Joe Simon didn't have access to modern comic book creation technology such as unnecessary gradients applied to everything or on every page being super shiny? Well, Marvel has finally rectified that by having modern comic book artists remake the classic pages from Captain America #1 and Avengers #4. And you can read this clearly improved version of both of these comics for the low price of $6.99. We know, what a bargain. And it goes on just to give the little blurb. And this is what we're going to get. This, of course, being a redraw of this was number 100, right?
No, that's Avengers 4.
Avengers 4. Okay. Yeah, I'm stupid. And then, of course, Captain America #1. And here we get some art. Now, I got to tell you, so this is what set him off. I'm looking at it and I'm going, not bad. Here's the thing, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into this. Rewriting the classics. My first reaction, you know what? I almost want to give it over to you first because I'm going to go on a roll.
The Germans are going to bomb Pearl Harbor in a minute.
The Germans are about to bomb Pearl Harbor, yes.
All right. My take on this is, if it's done well, I have no problem with it because, Captain America, 80 years, deserves the tribute. Now, you brought up something off air. There have been other...
I'm about to bring it up on. So if you're going to go that route, let me speak.
Go ahead. I'll see if you...
Okay, here's the thing. My first reaction was, oh, freaking heck, blah, 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 except for I'm really not wanting to cuss on Old Man Comics, so I'm marking the language. But then I realized, wait a second, you moron, forgetful moron that looks at Avengers #4 and reads Captain America 100. Hey, Venkman, how's it going?
Going all right.
So my first thought was this is horrible, but then I remembered this comic book. This comic book actually happened. I bought this comic book before. It wasn't Captain America. It was Batman in Detective Comics number 627. All Detective Comics 627 are different artists and writers recreating Detective Comics 27, Batman's first appearance. It's a double-sized issue of nothing but that one story being retold over and over again. So this is nothing new. We've seen it in books like what was it, Peter Parker Hidden Years and Professor X and the X-Men, where they would reprint but modernize old comics. Please, that was what I said backstage. Bring that. You pick it up where you left off because you were going to refer to that. So,
okay, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, slight correction. Untold years for Spider-Man and Hidden Years for X-Men.
There you go.
Untold Tales of Spider-Man. God,
that was it.
Okay, now the Detective Comics you referenced, that's about 20-something years in the rearview mirror now, and the Untold Tales, and 30, and the Untold Tales and the Hidden Years are also over 20 years old.
Right.
Those were done by creators that had absolute reverence for the past. I don't know that you can say that about the people that are going to be doing the Captain America. Now, if they can restrain themselves from adding modern sensibilities, and like the article jokingly stated, correcting the mistakes.
Yeah.
Then if they do it as a straight tribute, then it should be fine. But I don't want any modern sensibilities shoehorned into a story that was written 80 years ago and another one that was written 58 years ago.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's funny you guys are bringing up modern classics and stuff. Apparently, Marvel is releasing the Captain America story, 80 years.
All right, you need to stop right there. We're literally talking about that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now keep going. Okay.
No, okay. Sorry,
yeah, you're talking about like it's a different topic. We're on that topic.
All right.
Okay?
So anyway, yeah. So
hold on, wait. Okay, let's give a little space here. Now tell us. I'm going to edit that whole part out. Okay.
All right. So with the Captain America classics, and I agree with Breen. As long as they're sticking to, if it reprint, I don't mind if it's a reprint. And if you're going to have these new stories being shoveled in the back there, okay, I won't read the back part. Just let me know so I don't have to read that part. But if you're going to take these stories and say it's a classic, retelling of Stan Lee's, doing Captain America, and you're going to just put preachy stuff in there and has nothing to do with the story, yeah, screw you. I'm not giving my money. And what's the price for this comic book? $10?
$6.99. $6.99.
All right, so $6.99 isn't that bad. But if you're only if they're really, well, I mean, if you're getting 5 stories, $6 isn't that bad, or 7 stories, whatever. My problem is, yeah, what Breen said. If they start putting stuff in there that had nothing to do with the story, when it was originally written, why do I care to buy it then? That's a waste of my money.
Yeah, so it's not like we're against the concept, because we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it done before. We have seen classic. I mean, let's face it, the covers, which I didn't think those were bad covers. The cover thing has been done over and over. There's so many Avenger 4 homages. There's so many Captain America #1 homages out there that we've seen it before. But you're right. Do we trust modern day comic book writers to not screw it up?
And they've also done Avengers 4 before. There was that classic Avengers series where they lasted about 12 issues, where they basically retold the early issues of that series. So that's been done also. Had, I believe, Art Adams covers.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not. Yeah, now, I don't know if Captain America #1 from 1941. I'm sure that's been reworked in any number of series. So they're not going to break new ground here, but they're probably doing this as much for their new audience than their old, and that's the part that is kind of a red flag ish to me.
Yeah.
Is they might try to make it more palatable to the fan base that they.
Well, can you imagine if they showed this as originally what happened back in the day, and then they want you to buy Coates, which is a slap to the face of that original comic?
Yeah, no kidding. I can't believe Coates is on Captain America of all things. Now, one of my favorite stories, and this is literally one of my favorite, I know I say that a lot, but this is seriously one of my favorite miniseries, is a Captain America origin story called Sentinel of Liberty. Kevin McGuire drew it. I forgot who wrote it, but it's a really good book. 4-issue prestige format. Check it out. Try to find it. I think you'll really enjoy it. And that just retells the whole origin story. So basically issue number 1 just spread out into 4 issues. I think that's pretty good. This can be a good thing. This is a reinterpretation of it, though. It's not like a remake. That is definitely a remake, the Sentinel of Liberty. This is a reinterpretation, so this might be more along the lines of Gus Van Zant's Psycho, where you go, frame by frame retelling. It could be interesting. It could be a complete flop. I hope you are absolutely wrong. I hope we are wrong in our suspicions and our fears as far as all of this. So I do have to ask you. I'll let RDV finish whatever it was he was about to say, but then afterwards, I'm going to give it over to Breen and then to RDV, and we're going to talk about what are some really good remakes of classic stories. Going ahead, Venkman, finish up.
I was just going to quickly just say that I don't want any of these writers to fail. I want them to succeed, but I don't also want them to succeed at giving me crap. I want them to put out great stories, because you can sometimes bad writers write bad stories, sometimes they write great stories, and we always want the great stories. And it feels like lately we're just getting the half-assed mediocre stuff.
Yeah, which is a video, as we're recording, a video just dropped on I Love Comics just about that. Brain, how about you? We've seen a whole bunch of classic stories being redone. What's one that actually stands out to you? What's one that you can go, okay, you should go try that?
I'd have to put some thought into that, because my first instinct is to think of the, oh man, I think there was a Spider-Man series, a web spinners that retold some of the early stories, because Untold Tales, that was the stuff that happened in between the issues.
Right.
So, possibly that. I am not going to say John Byrne's Chapter 1, because I thought that was a horrible retelling of Spider-Man's early days. Wow, you have caught me unprepared, sir.
I stumped Eric. How about you, Breen? Can you come up? How about you, Venkman? Can you come up with any good remake of the classic stories?
Remakes. So I had only reinterpretations. That was Life Story.
Or is it just me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what would you say?
As far as you're talking about Life Story, or just talking about in general, as far as remakes, I don't read a lot of Marvel as I used to.
Yeah.
I think all the remakes and retellings were done back in the 90s. I think if there's anything today, it's just they just killed off the character and redid it. That was Secret Empire. That was their retelling.
Yeah,
and I don't know of any good after that, a retelling.
I don't think the word Secret Empire and best would ever enter. Yeah. Except for this particular sentence where I'm saying that Secret Empire and the word best would never be in the same sentence together. That's it.
Well, I'm just saying that was their attempt at basically culling the original readers. They want you to, this is our new Captain America. Everything you thought about him was different, and that's what Coates did. I'll
come up with 2. I already, and both of them from Marvel. Now, I will recommend actually Detective Comics 627 for DC. I thought that was really done well. But then I could say that the entirety of Amazing Fantasy 15, that what was it, 8-page story, was told in 6 issues in Ultimate Spider-Man, and I actually liked that. I'm not saying it was better than the original 8 pages, but it was at least decent. And then go check out Sentinel of Liberty about Captain America and Detective Comics 627. I actually believe those. See, my first thought was Man of Steel, but Man of Steel really doesn't tell one story. It's not a recreation of Action Comics #1. It's just a retelling of the origin. But seriously, the 6 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man is basically what Stan Lee did in 8 pages. Brian Michael Bendis, you're wordy. Okay, you're not necessary.
So does that mean you're not looking forward to the Days of Future Past retelling omnibus?
The future days of Days of Future
All right,
Past.
so there you go. I think you made my point. Anyway,
there is one though, but it's not from Marvel. And I agree with DC. It's Batman Zero Year, which Scott Snyder retold that the Year 1 story, and I actually like that, even though it's different from the original Frank Miller Year 1. I was nice to actually go back and see in the New 52 that Batman was struggling against the Riddler. Not that he's just like gone within a panel and like, I beat you already. Because I like Batman starting out versus Batman where I just could do anything. All
righty. Did you come up with anything yet, Eric?
No, I was actually going to quasi-agree with Venkman there.
DC Zero?
Yeah, so he was giving credit for a retelling of what was basically fleshed out retelling from Miller's Year 1.
Yeah,
basically taking 4 issues to do what the original first Batman story, but then again, no one knew what they had on their hands by then. So
yeah,
you can excuse Frank Miller if he wanted to put more time, space, and emphasis into that.
So there you go. You got a couple of books you could go check out where they did this well. And here's the thing. I'm not saying Captain America is going to be horrible, their 80th anniversary special. But being Marvel, I'm just saying it probably will be.
Can I say something before we go?
Sure.
I heard some people talking about the Roger Stern, John Byrne, Captain America run that only lasted 8 issues. Because I think, the old curmudgeon got mad at something and left. But it would really be nice if they could, let Stern be a part of this somehow.
It would have been nice. It's done. It's done already, though.
Oh, I know. I shudder to when I see the list of creators. I'm afraid to see who's going to be on it. Because you remember when someone mentioned to the showrunner of WandaVision how disappointed fans were that Mephisto, and mainly those were people that paid big bucks for Silver Surfer 3, but I digress. What was not used in the show, and the showrunner said, "Well, I don't know who Mephisto was. He wasn't in any of the movies." That juxtapose that to who could be writing this comic. Who knows how many people that are working on this comic don't know anything past the movies or the very recent past. I heard someone say, you've got professional writers now at Marvel that their frame of reference for the beginning of Spider-Man is One More Day.
That's horrible.
So that's, I said, it's going to take some doing for this to be done well. I just hope that whoever they did put on it does a little bit of research.
That would be nice.
What are your guys' thoughts on Captain America Man Out of Time by Mark Waid?
We're on a whole different thing. So I'm going to say, thank you very much, gang, for hanging out with us. And as always, I'm not in a live stream. Okay, thankfully we're on a video. I could edit it. I ain't editing shit out of this thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our opinion. What is yours? Let us know in the comments below. As a matter of fact, that's the best way you can help the channel out. Comment. Get the algorithm up, and share the channel out as well. Make sure you got your subscription clip. Make sure you got your the notification set on all, and hit that notification bell. If you want to help us monetarily, it's easy peasy. Go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on. Helps keep making videos for you. Links in the description below. Thank everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.